And joining us now is Miriam Schler, Executive Director at the Tel Aviv Crisis Center for Sexual Assault. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Miriam, what's new in the information that we are seeing in this report? We did hear about sexual violence before extensively, but what's new here in this report?
I think the major dramatic part of this report is the fact that we are showing that this is not something that just happened randomly according to the discretion of one individual Hamas terrorist. This is something that was not in contrast to the guidelines, but it was actually according to guidelines. And we see again and again a systematic method of sexual assault, of gender violence, of mutilation, of sadistic abuse and sexual assault. And this is something that when we collaborated and collected all the evidence from all different places, I think that we can see that there's definitely a system here, and that's something that's just very dramatic. And when the world stands silent again and again and again and tells us that it didn't happen, or that AI invented it, or that we're justified, and that this is clear that sexual assault and sexual violence was used as a weapon of war. In contrast to every international law and in contrast to any kind of humanity, it's just it's completely contrast to anything that stands for humanity, and which makes it just even that more difficult and frustrating and just unfathomable why the world is able to just overlook this piece of what happened on October 7th and what's happening now with the hostages, unfortunately, in Gaza right now.
Now, do you believe that this report will have an effect on the international arena now that it's released?
Look, I really hope that it will, but honestly, I'm still trying to get over the shock of how everyone has just stood silence and was completely ignoring all facts to begin with. So it was just amazing to me to see that there was a director of Rape Crisis Center in Canada who questioned the survivors, although we passed through Me Too, and we already came to the stage historically where we believe survivors, and we were thrown back years and years and decades where we've been thrown back, where we got to a stage where once again we don't believe victims and we don't believe survivors, and we make them out to be crazy or liars, or they deserved it or justified it. So there has been a ton of evidence that's come out already. That's part of the thing that's very frustrating, because if something we learned in Me Too is that we don't need to have forensic evidence. We always know that it's always going to be normally in sexual assault cases and rape, we don't have witnesses, and we don't film the scene of the crime. We have learned along the years that we believe survivors, and now everything that happened on October 7th was just a complete blow to all the progress that we've made from Me Too. And there was a huge amount of evidence surrounding this, and there's just a continuation of the abuse when we try to put all this pressure on the individual victims to come forward, when we know that that's not possible. We know that that doesn't happen in regular sexual assault cases, if there's anything regular about sexual assault, and even more so in these kind of cases. When anyone comes out and tries to talk about what the Hamas did, they're grilled at the stake, and they're completely, there's all these violent attacks against them. So it's really very, very, it doesn't make any sense to try to expect that from survivors themselves to come forward.
Absolutely not. Now that Israel has all this evidence compiled in this one report, what can it do next? Which steps can it take in face of these horrific acts?
I think that first of all, it needs to be the most important and immediate thing is that we need to get the hostages out as soon as possible. They're facing danger of sexual assault and abuse and other abuse every single day. Every minute that they're there is completely endangering themselves, their lives, their mental states. We need to get them out as soon as possible. And we need to have, the world needs to come to terms and take responsibility for the silence, standing without saying anything, for some sort of silent collaboration with what was going on. It's going to take a long time to mend all of this trust that was broken, and this it's just something that I don't know how to explain.
Miriam Schler, thank you very much for your input.
So it's really, really important for me. It's very, very important for me. Anyone who hears me right now, no matter where you are, these stories, these images, these visions, these facts are extremely triggery. It's really, really important that anyone who's gone through any kind of sexual assault, men, women, boys, girls, we're here for you. 1202 line for women, 1203 line for men. We're here for you. We believe you, and we're here for you in an anonymous and discreet way.